Just picture it for a second. The year is 1914. You're deep in a cold, muddy trench on the Western Front. The Great War has been tearing the world apart for months, and the only sound you hear is the constant rumble of artillery. It feels like humanity itself has been completely forgotten.
But what if I told you that right in the middle of all that madness, the war just stopped? Not because of some treaty or a surrender. No, it stopped because soldiers on opposite sides of the battlefield started singing a Christmas carol. I know, it sounds totally impossible, right? Like some kind of fairy tale they'd make up after the fact. So let's really dig into this unbelievable story. The claim is pretty straightforward, but it's also mind-blowing. That in the thick of World War I, sworn enemies just put down their guns to celebrate Christmas together. So you gotta ask, right? Is this just a myth? You know, one of those hopeful stories we tell ourselves 100 years later to feel a little better about the horrors of war? Did this actually happen? Well, the answer is yes. It is 100%, absolutely, unbelievably true. This isn't just some legend, it's a real historical event, and it really shows you the power of a single moment of human connection. So, what exactly went down during this incredible event? It's famously known as the Christmas Truce of 1914, and it was a moment so completely surreal, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. And you know, the really wild part is that this was totally unofficial. This wasn't some order coming from the generals sitting miles away from the danger. This was a spontaneous thing, a decision made by the men themselves, right there in the trenches. It was like a grassroots movement for peace, even if it was just for a little while. So try to picture what that actually looked like. It would often start with singing. You'd hear German troops singing Stille Nacht, and then the British troops would answer back with the First Noel. Before long, guys were cautiously climbing out of their trenches into that deadly area called no man's land. But they weren't there to fight. They were there to shake hands, to share pictures of their families, to trade cigarettes for chocolate. And yeah, in some spots, they even started kicking a football around. For just a few hours, they weren't enemies. They were just people. But here's the thing. This incredible moment, it was fragile. It was just one single day of humanity in a war that would go on to last for 4 more brutal years. And the harsh reality is that when the sun came up on December 26th, the orders came through. The war was back on. In most places, the fighting just started right back up. The same men who had just shared a song were now, once again, ordered to kill each other. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, the truce didn't end the war, not even close, but it did reveal something incredibly profound. And this quote really says it all. For one day, their shared humanity was stronger than their orders. It proved that even in the absolute darkest of times, that basic human need to connect can be more powerful than the command to hate. And that kind of leaves us with this big, lingering question, doesn't it? In our modern world, with all its technology and divisions, could a moment of pure, unplanned human connection still stop a conflict in its tracks, even for just one day? It's definitely something to think about.